Controversy tonight over who deserves the title of SAPD's first female SWAT officer. This week, Chief McManus congratulated Perla Dominguez as the first woman to complete the department's current SWAT training program.
But 26 years ago, Holly Vizcarrondo broke through the squad's all-male barrier, becoming SAPD's first female SWAT officer back in 1992 and serving on the unit for 5 years. She sat down tonight with Eyewitness News reporter Roxy Bustamante.
And Roxy, many people have commented about what the chief had to say this week, including Vizcarrondo. What does she want people to know?
Now, Deborah, she wants people to know that she feels that Chief McManus's comments were both dismissive and disrespectful to not only the department, but also to her accomplishments. And tonight, she just wants to set that record straight.
I did my police work. I loved it.
Holly Vizcarrondo broke the glass ceiling at SAPD, becoming the first woman to join the elite SWAT team in 1992.
I was blessed to be able to do a lot of things on the department, but going to SWAT was a whole other animal. It was not receptive.
After serving 28 years with the police department, retired Detective Vizcarrondo says she was ecstatic to hear that another female officer was among the newest members of SAPD's SWAT team.
Perla Dominguez is an exceptional lady, an exceptional officer. I feel she's going to far exceed anything I ever did. And I love that she has people surrounding her to support her. And I was okay until yesterday when the press conference came out.
And in that press conference, Police Chief William McManus said Vizcarrondo did not undergo the current demanding tryout.
Retired Detective Holly Vizcarrondo was the first female on the SWAT team back in March of 1996. However, again, as I said before, Officer Dominguez is the first female to successfully complete the rigorous formal tryout process.
But Vizcarrondo says she did pass extensive physical and mental requirements 26 years ago.
I remember having to put on gear and have to jump up to a fire escape and pull myself up fire escape with my upper body. Then we had to do the firing range and shoot, which I loved back then. We had tactical problems. And then after all of that, we did the interview.
She says many people reached out to her and felt the police chief's comments downplayed her accomplishments.
So many women before me they paved the way so I could do what I did. Don't disrespect that. Don't dismiss it like it was just an informal interview and it was the good old boy system, because it wasn't.
And tonight, Police Chief McManus sent out this statement. It reads, "I wanted to highlight the accomplishments of Officer Dominguez. It was not my intent to diminish the achievements of retired Detective Vizcarrondo." Now, I have to say that Holly Vizcarrondo did not want to do an interview at all. She wanted to keep the focus on Officer Dominguez, but after so many people reached out, not only to us here at KENS 5, but also to her, including some former colleagues, she had to speak out.
I think it's amazing there have only been 2 women, though, in 26 years.
I know. It's 2018.
Yes.
Wow.
It's time.
It's time.
All right. Roxy, thank you for bringing us the
Thank you.
story. Thank you.